that it would be only appropriate to be able to write a song for our older generation, our grandmas or grandpas, for no matter what culture that it might be from. Because if we look into their eyes, into the expressions of their face, we'll be able to see knowledge and wisdom. And if we don't capture it through events like this or other things, storytelling and other places, opportunities like this, once they're gone, that information is going to be gone forever. So the idea of this next song is to be able to, it's for our grandparents. And once again, try to imagine those grandmas and grandpas who are up there, because I've been hearing different stories about they also are in that front line as well, and then to be able to give strength for the younger generation. So this is called In the Eyes. One time someone says, "I really love your music," it put me to sleep, and it just tore right to my heart. Because I thought they said it was really boring. I said, no. That person meant that it was really calming, it had its place, and put me to, it relaxed me from that hard day. One time a principal had approached me one time and then said that one of the teachers had brought a student into her office, and to be able to, because that student was kind of acting out and things like this, so that teacher had put on one of these kind of CDs and walked out for a moment, and when it came back, the student was feeling much calmer. So it has its place. And so I live in a city now. I'm the youngest of 11 children. I'm the first, like this young man here, to go in my family to reach a degree of higher education. And so I've not only overcome that first, but also I've been sober for 32 years. I'll be actually February 16th, 1985 was the last time I was drinking a year of any drugs. So I'm on that path. And so I live in a city now. I was born in the reservation in eastern Utah. I went to native boarding schools. I went to the military, as Carl had so graciously had said, like hour later, after I mentioned that, Carl. And so sometimes I go back to the reservation. And when I was writing these songs, the title of the songs, I went back one time and I went up to the mountains, and there's different places that we hunted, fishes and different things like this. And so what I did is I got out of the car, and I'm so used to different sounds of the city, the sirens, honking of the horns, and whatever else. So when I went back to the reservation, I got out of my vehicle and I went next to this creek, this brook, and then I listened for a minute, and I heard the sounds of that water hitting the rocks, or going over the rocks and hitting the banks, and the birds and whatever else and things like this. And so to me, it was telling me a story is to not forget home wherever your folks' home might be, that the idea is not to be able to forget your home. And so this next song is called Whispering Brook. And so, once again, the idea is to be able to kind of also remember those folks up there. They're actually doing their own, that river, that water. We all know that life, it's all kind of very important. So this song, I think, is probably appropriate. So this next song is called Whispering Brook. Well, as I mentioned, I've been playing the flute for 23 years. I have 3 albums out. I think I released that first one probably like 12 years ago. And I've been pretty fortunate. That last album, I haven't worked on anything for the longest time, but yet the last one about 8, 9, 10 years ago, we submitted it, myself and my person who I co-wrote the songs with, and the album was Red Hawk. And we submitted to the Grammy Awards. We had a good agent from back east, and we actually made the first 2 rounds. And meaning that had we gone one more round, we would have been one of the nominees. We're actually going into the the Grammy Awards in another 2 months or so. Well, we didn't win, unfortunately, or even get nominated. But yet the idea was somehow the Grammy committee became aware of some of the works Red Hawk and myself done. They invited me to become a voting member. So now, last 10 years now, and it's not an easy process to get a voting member. It's not just paying your fee, but yet now I'm a voting member of the Grammy Awards. So that's kind of a accolade. That's kind of cool. So the music might be kind of corny and things like that, but the idea, just try to imagine, across America, at that time the Grammy committee had kind of recognized it in certain ways as well. One more song, and so we talk about water is life, and see that the fire, the North Star, is what we call the central fire. And so the idea is a fire, it brings like warmth here today. We don't have a fire, but yet light is something that can bring safety, it brings warmth, it brings family together. We come and share stories. So what I thought it'd be only appropriate to be able to write a song called Spirit of the Fire. Spirit of Fire is about, if you look at a fire itself, there's no one flame the same. There might be a large flame, a small one, flickering in different ways. And that's just the same thing as we as people. We're not all the same unless, we might be close if we're an identical twin or something like that, but the idea is that we're still different. Just like the people up there in North Dakota are fighting for that, just like anybody else who are coming over from across the world, which makes me so humble about that cause, is that because everybody is coming together as one. And so I thought it would be only appropriate to be able to share that song with you. It's called Spirit of the Fire. Thank you. Thank you for the call. Thank you for coming out. Appreciate it very much. Thank you, Carla, Cassandra, and all the committee.